system. I'm not sure. Something's going on there. I want to, we should have a pool and guess which counties they live in.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot more fun. Okay, then the next two to them had 15 licenses, and there was 4 guys that had 14. But I think the power of this number here, which is, if you don't take anything away tonight, you need to take this away with you. The reason this is so powerful is because, look at this. All this opportunity in the state of Wyoming, and our residents aren't buying tags. They aren't buying tags. And you know, you think of Wyoming as this big game hunting state, it's just not true. It's just not true. So this is, the current census shows that Wyoming has 584,000 residents, 69,000 resident big game hunters, 11.8% of the resident population. If you don't remember anything, remember these numbers, because this is power, and it's just huge. It's the guts of who's going to foot the bill, and who's going to kill the game that needs to be killed.
Got to be the residents.
They don't do it. The next one will show you that. 77% of resident hunters only buy 1 or 2 licenses in Wyoming. All this opportunity, almost limitless opportunity. You can have 23 tags. There's no state in the West that a resident can have 23 hunt tags. I guarantee you Wyoming's only one. All this opportunity, and our resident hunters are only buying 1 or 2 licenses. We can buy 3 elk tags. When I had a meeting a couple of years ago with the director of the Game and Fish, there was our e-board of the Wyoming Outfitter Guide Association met with Scott Talbot, his 4 top, we were talking about mule deer in Wyoming. And we tried to do a little, the question came up, how many licenses a resident hunter could have? Nobody in the Game and Fish knew the answer. We didn't know the answer. We came up then with maybe 14. We were trying to do the math. This is the top people in the Game and Fish. They didn't know how many licenses a resident hunter could buy. Well, we know it's 23. So none of us knew at the time. So this is huge. And so if the non-resident hunting licenses are reduced by 50%, how are we going to adequately manage our big game herds? How are we going to do it? If they're not buying the tags, how are we going to kill the number of cows they want to kill? How are they going to kill the number of doe antelope, doe whitetails? Who's going to kill them if we don't let the non-resident come in here and do it? It's obviously not going to be the resident hunter. So he's getting all he wants right now. Here's another thing that's happened, and this is something you need to think about hard. In 1988, the estimate of elk was 70,000 elk in the state of Wyoming. Our estimate now is over 130,000, and elk hunters can now have 3 elk licenses. And this is arguably, it depends if you're Wolf Central, you may not feel this way, but our population of elk across the state has absolutely exploded. We can have 3 elk licenses, and the reason we can have 3 is because nobody's buying them. They're not buying them. So you can, you know, they could up that number if they want to 5. And it's still ain't gonna matter. They're still not selling all the cow tags that they want to sell. So we cannot manage these licenses and these numbers without the current number of non-residents. It's simple. So who's gonna fill in this gap? We're gonna keep asking that question. And that's the question that we're gonna pose to the people that are proposing cutting non-resident licenses in half. Who's gonna fill in this pie? Who's gonna provide that funding? 50% reduction is a 250% license fee increase for the resident hunter.
So when you ask those guys.
Well, we gotta get them to show up.
Yeah, exactly, you gotta get them to show, but what's their answer to that?
Well, this is, the whole process of what we're trying to do here is make sure that the people of the state of Wyoming know the truth. And so that when the legislature hears about 90-10, he runs the other way, say, I already know about that. And we're gonna just keep educating, and you're gonna see the number of groups we're gonna talk to make sure that somebody knows these facts.
How bad did it get beat?
It got withdrawn before it
Got withdrawn.
got withdrawn. We got on, you know, we had a ton of phone calls and emails from our members going in there. But, you know, there was some strategy of withdrawing it too. They had a strategy there once that other bill got beat up. A lousy 10% license fee increase. That was their whole panic for sports.
So you think they'll take it again this year?
Well, we've been told they were.
When we met with Wharf, he said
They're going to come back.
So what's the Game and Fish talking about?
Game and Fish is letting us do they're feeding me the numbers, feeding the WYOGA the numbers.
Looks like it'd be their benefit to get kind of
Well,
local.
there's state law that they can't lobby. They're limited. They can provide the facts, but they really can't lobby. And so that's what we're doing. this is in our best interest too, as hunting.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is why, you know,
But that looks to me like.
we've got a lot of skin in this fight.
Yeah.
So let's go back there a second for you. There's many economists, and this is one of the things, this is a number that we need to get nailed down. And one of the things WYOGA wants to do is get a hard and fast study that really quantifies the amount of money the non-resident hunter spends in the state of Wyoming. There's many, we've heard that number bandied around for years, that the non-resident hunters spend around $200 million in the state of Wyoming hunting. The thing that's powerful about this number is it goes to every single corner of the state. You know, people in Saratoga see it, Tinsleep, Wyoming see it, Cheyenne sees it, Cody sees it, Dubois sees it. Go to the next one, I'll give you an example. The Teton ski area in Jackson just had the second best ski area. They had 600,000 people come through there and ski, which is about 60 million in revenue in lift tickets, and you know, God knows what else. It's easily a $200 million push to Teton County with lodging and meals and all the stuff that goes on there. But it all stayed in Teton County. I'm pretty sure Carbon County didn't see any of this money. I'm pretty sure Natrona County didn't see any of it. I'm pretty sure Fremont County didn't see any of it. It stays in Teton County. The difference is non-resident hunters, they spread it to all parts of the state. Everybody gets a piece of this pie. And it's just as big as that, but everybody gets a piece of it. There's other parts of this thing that as we got to thinking about it, that makes a lot of sense to us. And we wanted you guys to think about this a little bit. First one we're gonna talk about search and rescue funding. Everybody knows about the donations you're able to make when you apply for licenses for search and rescue and Access Yes. Well, the non-resident hunter, now this number here is not the total number that's donated to search and rescue. This is the total number that's donated during applications, okay? Which would equate to this is big game hunters donating this money, not the fishermen, not the bird hunters, that type of stuff. We do have that number too, but this is the actual number that people donate when they apply for a license. The non-resident hunter donates more than the resident big game hunter does, and he's pushing 60,000 pretty much every year. The resident big game hunter to search and rescue is donating about 40,000. That stays real stable. And there's significantly more of these guys than there is non-resident hunters, but the non-resident hunter donates more money to search and rescue. And we feel that if the non-resident hunter gets the word out, which in today's world we all know how fast that can happen with social media and the internet, they're going to be upset. And they donate this money for a reason. They want to come to Wyoming and be part of something. They will donate significantly fewer dollars. There's no doubt in my mind. If they lose half their licenses, the internet will blow up with that, and they will reduce their rescue donations. The thing about search and rescue funding is that money, a lot of people don't realize this, but it goes to the sheriff's departments all around the state, and they're actually able to use that for whatever they want to use it for. It doesn't have to be delineated to search and rescue, but the county sheriff is in charge of search and rescue in your county. So he's allowed to do whatever he wants best. So we think we have a pretty good case for that funding being in jeopardy if we get rid of half of our non-resident hunters. And on the application process, for every dollar a resident donates, a non-resident will donate $1.50, 46% more than the resident does per dollar. And it's like I said, you talk to these guys, they're just so grateful to have the opportunity to hunt out here, to be part of this. They like to donate money for that stuff. They just don't complain about that stuff, just like they don't complain about the cost of the hunting license. So we think it will easily be at least a $30,000 per year reduction in search and rescue donations if something like HB 112 goes through. Access Yes funding. This is something a lot of people haven't given much thought to, but as you guys know, there's Access Yes properties, bird hunting, fishing, big game hunting all around the state. And this is where that money comes from. Once again, the non-resident during the application process out-donates the resident hunter by quite a bit. And he's done it every year. It's consistent. And there's half of them, half of the numbers, but he donates more money. And there again, it's the same thing. He wants to be part of it. He's grateful to have this opportunity. They don't mind donating the money. And I think this is really safe. If they find that half their licenses are cut, I think it's really a safe bet that they're going to cut their donations. I don't even think that's a question. And it could be significantly more than that. It would be ugly. Well, who hunts those Access Yes areas? The resident hunter does. There's not many non-residents hunting compared to the residents. but it's paid for by their dollars. So here again, it's almost identical. For every dollar a resident donates, a non-resident donated $1.50. Could easily, if not more, be a $25,000 loss in donations, which will affect the resident. There's another part of it that a lot of people don't understand. This is state law. When the last time the conservation stamp got raised, it was delineated by the legislature how those funds, for every $12.50 that's paid for a stamp, $3.12 of it goes to the Game and Fish Access Yes Fund. 4.69 goes to the Wildlife Trust Fund, and the rest goes to the Game and Fish General Fund. And then they have it broke down from the lifetime conservation stamp. Now, the reason this is so important, go to the next one, Lori. If we cut out half the non-resident licenses, we're gonna sell half the conservation stamps, correct? Because you only need one. So if half the non-residents are gone, half the conservation stamp sales are gone instantly. And with a $3.12 going to the Access Yes, and this is how it would break down. They sold 37,000 conservation stamps to non-residents. And you could say goodbye to half of that, which would be this much in stamps, which would be this much to Access Yes. We did the math on that, and if 9010, our similar bill goes through, we'll have 250,000 fewer acres enrolled by the Wyoming Game and Fish in the Access Yes program. So, you know, when you talk to residents, this is important stuff, because by wanting to get rid of half the non-residents, they're cutting their own throats in a lot of ways. And this is one way, which is, and I don't know about down here, but in central Wyoming, this is a big deal. There's a lot of acres enrolled in central Wyoming. In a lot of places, the only access that is available to hunt in is Access Yes properties. There are no ranches that let people hunt anymore unless they're enrolled in that program. So there's entire units where that's the only place a resident